How has it been for you to not wear a face which is not typical Northeastern?
Which is not typical Khasi.
Yeah.
To be honest, it has worked out in my favor.
You're still as honest as how you were on the first day that you landed
I
in
think,
Delhi?
honestly, yes, but I'm not so nice
You're not so
anymore.
nice anymore. Yeah. Okay.
The minute I got out of the airport, the driver who was dropping me to my hotel tried to cheat me. Then I was looking for a house. The broker tried to cheat.
Do you copy the kind of cleanliness that your mom practices at home?
I have signs written all over the house, like please wash the dishes immediately after you use them, like please clean the kitchen, and like I have these signs all over the house because her friend told her that there's a job to cook in a hostel. But when she came here, she was forced into prostitution. And luckily our numbers were public.
Yeah.
She called someone, like call KSU Delhi, and then that's how she got us. They call people from Northeast. These are fake call centers, and when they get busted, they get arrested. It's very difficult to bail them out because you cannot take the plea of you didn't know.
Marbiang is a dynamic legal professional and a prominent voice of the Northeast community in Delhi. She is an advocate practicing before the Supreme Court of India, where she regularly appears on behalf of the state of Meghalaya and the state of Uttar Pradesh. As a member of the panel of advocates for these states, she plays a key role in representing their interests at the highest judicial forum. In addition, Marbiang serves as the president of the Delhi unit of the Khasi Students' Union, where she actively works to uphold the rights and welfare of students and citizens from Meghalaya and the broader Northeast region. She also holds the position of the Delhi Police Northeast representative, serving as a vital bridge between the law enforcement community and the Northeast diaspora in the capital.
Hi.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. So, when you came in,
Yeah.
I was just wondering, a lot of, these people who have been setting the stage for us would be imagining someone who would probably have a face that is, just like mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how has it been for you to not wear a face which is not typical Northeastern?
Which is not typical Khasi.
Yeah.
To be honest, it has worked out in my favor. So when I have to deal with police officers or clerks or people in the administrative side, so having this face, like not looking from someone from the Northeast or looking like someone from mainland, has really worked out in my favor.
Okay.
Here in Delhi.
I'm so glad you're like honest about that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to ask you, how do you like the entire setup?
I mean, it's really nice. It reminds me of home.
Home?
Yeah, with
Kamra Shunkai.
Yeah, with the Kamra with the shilya.
The Shilya and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about where we come from, Shillong, right? How did that shape you?
Life there, it has kept me grounded. Like people in Shillong or from Meghalaya as a whole are very grounded. I think we're honest. Most of us are honest. And we are laid back, yes, but we're also hardworking, if that makes sense. So when I come here to Delhi and continue in my work or in my profession or how I live my everyday life, I make sure that I have the same principles.
Yeah.
In the sense, like when I first came to Delhi, I'll just tell you a story. Everyone I meet were trying to cheat me, right?
Okay.
The minute I got out of the airport, the driver was trying to, knowing that I'm not from this place and I came from
A smaller place.
Yeah. They're like, the driver who was dropping me to my hotel tried to cheat me. Then I was looking for a house. The broker tried, to cheat in some way or the other.
Yeah.
Even in my profession, they're not honest with their clients. Like they try to do things, they try to say things that is not very honest, and I don't understand why.
Okay.
It's like that. But then I feel like in Shillong, if you ask something, people will tell you honestly. If you give them any work, they would just do it with full honesty. There's no like they say it here, do number ka kaam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is something that I take, that I bring with myself from Shillong.
Okay.
Like whatever I do, I just bring
Yeah.
honest
And
to
how
it.
long have you been here?
It's been 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah.
And you're still as honest as how you were on the first day that you landed
I
in
think
Delhi?
honesty, yes, but I'm not so nice
You're not so
anymore.
nice anymore. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
adapt
Yeah.
their way of speaking and being a bit rude and have like a boundary, because in Shillong we're not rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we
don't have boundaries.
We don't have boundaries, and we're not rude. We're nice to everyone, to our
Yeah.
neighbors. Like I can enter my neighbor's house whenever
You
I
still
want.
do that?
We still do that. We still do that.
Seriously?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
They can come to my place whenever I'm home. They just enter. We don't have to call, and take an appointment that I'm
Seriously?
coming. Yes, and I think a lot of my
And
friends
because you're talking about Lao Sotun,
also.
is it still happening in the rest of
Because
Shillong?
it's my locality.
Yeah.
Lao Sotun was still like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, even with my other friends and family, I just show up, and even they just show up to my place.
That's so cool.
So there's no boundary, or we're not.
Yeah. But that becomes a little unhealthy, right? I mean, don't you think so? Especially when you kind of living in another place.
In Delhi,
Yeah,
yes.
in Delhi,
In
yeah.
Delhi, you need boundaries.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
can't just let anyone and everyone enter your place, or you can't
Yeah.
inform everyone where you're living, where you're staying. You need boundaries. Yeah.
You need boundaries, yeah. That's true. The way we deal with tricky stuff like money, right? Do you see people doing this when they give you money? This? And then you try to stop.
But in Shillong, we're not allowed to do this. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I'm like teaching them, like, you know what? No, gentle.
Yeah.
And the knives, like, kitchen situation where you're asking the helper, can I have the knife? And then you get the pointed end of the knife. And you're like, oh, no. You have to turn it around. You have to be gentle.
Yeah.
And so are you doing that too,
I am still following that. In fact, even when my, even with the broom, you can't touch the broom.
Yes.
And my helper, she will always like touch the broom. Everyone will tell her, no, you can't do that. So I do carry that with me. And even with my flatmates, because they've been out they are from Shillong, but they've been out for 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
So they don't follow any
lost
of
touch.
the stuff.
Yeah.
They've lost touch. So I teach them as well.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
To do it.
Yeah, these are like the positive details of our culture, right? Yeah. So, what made you decide to be a lawyer?
I used to study chemistry.
What?
Yes, I was a science student, and I didn't really like it.
Okay.
And I always knew, when I was studying chemistry, I always knew that I wanted to work with people. I wanted to do something which involves people.
Okay.
But I didn't know what, because no one in my family was a lawyer, or no one had a law background, and law was not even in my head. Like, I never thought of becoming a lawyer. But in the year, I remember I was doing my chemistry, it was my final year of my BSc. In the year 2014, there was a protest or a public rally or a public meeting, something. I think it was the ILP issue.
Okay.
So I was just passing through that meeting. It was not my intention to go and listen to the public meeting. I was passing through. The meeting was held at Mott Front, and then I saw a lot of people gathering there. I was like, okay, let's just what's happening. I was intrigued. Let's listen to what these people have to say. So after the meeting, I really like what those people on stage did.
Okay.
It's like, I want to, it woke us, it woken up something in me, that I want to work with people. I want to do that. I want to get involved. Why am I not involved in this issue? Why didn't I know about this? Because before that, honestly, I think most youth in Shillong, our life is, we go to school, we go to college because we have to. But because we have to, but we don't really
you don't ask questions, right?
Or we're not intrigued, or we don't even have the interest to learn about our own people, where we come from and all. Our life is like, after college, on weekends, go for a drive. Take your dad's car and go for a drive here to the outskirts, and that's how we live our life. And nobody asks these questions. And then I was very disappointed in myself, how do I not know these things?
And how old were you then, 2014?
I was 20...
Something.
21. something like that, But I was in my 20s.
Okay.
And I was also like very disappointed with myself because even after that meeting, I could not make an informed decision because I had no knowledge about what these people were talking about.
Okay.
And then, so I knew that I do not want to study science anymore because I only do that. I go to college, go to tuitions, and that's it. And that was my life, nothing beyond science.
Okay.
Because I was really bad at it, so I had to spend all the time that I have studying. So leaving me no time to do anything else. So then
And why did you do that then? If you didn't like the subject,
I knew I didn't like the subject.
For someone else, is it?
No, it's not for someone else. Like my family is very
liberal.
Yeah, very liberal. They've never forced me to do everything. It's just that I was clueless. After my 10th, I got good marks in science and maths. So it's like every other student, you got good marks in science and maths, you choose science because there's no career counseling as such to tell you that if you want to be in this career, you have to follow this path and all. So then good marks in science and math, joined science, and then my higher secondary, like 11 and 12, is like, okay, somehow cleared my 12, and then...
No, I'm sure you didn't somehow clear your... you did well there.
I mean, I did okay, but like my 10th was better.
Okay.
Then it's like, okay, now what now? BSc. Because at that point of time, it's like either you become an engineer or doctor. So if you can't... So I didn't get through engineering or medical. So then, you know, BSc. And I was stuck and I was like, okay, I'm stuck here.
But somewhere did you try to make your parents happy by just going the normal path? Like,
it was not... honestly, they don't care. Even if I changed my profession, it was me who didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So then
and it was comfortable, no, Marbiang?
It was comfortable, It's like, okay, everyone is doing it. You need a degree, so I have a degree. It's like that. So then after that meeting, something, I was like, I should not be this person and I should learn more about our culture and where we come from. And also I knew that I wanted to work with people. So I was looking for, it was the first time that I sought career counseling.
Okay.
From some professional.
Okay. And that was in Shillong?
That was in Shillong, yes.
Oh, amazing.
I was in St. Anthony's College, so we had a career counselor within the college. So that was when I spoke to her and you know, we had this conversation and I just realized that, law is the subject. Law is the only subject that would help me take my career forward and also work, be in the social scene, like...
That's like an interesting journey, right?
I
mean, where you actually went to an event and realized that, hey, you're not really made for chemistry. Yeah. Interesting, And then also you are the president of the KSU Delhi unit. How did that happen?
So when I first came to Delhi, I just had a friend who was my senior in college. He helped me with everything, like looking around for houses, and he gave me a place to stay for a few weeks in his house. And honestly, I couldn't even I was struggling because even though he was helping me, but then I couldn't disturb him every now and then, be like, I don't know this, I don't know, where do I find this, how do I look for this, you know, how do I reach this place, what is the metro line, how to take an Uber and all that stuff. It was very difficult. And then I just thought, like, if it's difficult for me and I have my friend, what about people who don't know anyone in Delhi? So what do they do if they come to Delhi and, you know, they don't have anyone? So we've already had a Khasi Students Union Delhi unit in Delhi, but it was not functioning when I came there. It was like they didn't have office bearer for almost 3 years. So then I called. I was already a member of the KSU in Shillong as well. So then I called the president of the central body, and then I told him that, what if I start the KSU in Delhi just to help out our people in Delhi? Will that be okay? And he's like, yes, it's a great idea. And then I just circulated a form, a Google form, like, we're forming this unit. If anyone wants to be a part of the unit, can come to this general meeting. And then I think in October 2019,
I did see that on social media.
So we started our first meeting in Meghalaya House, Abdul Kalam Road, and there were like a handful of us, like around 30-40 people. And that's when we got the unit.
It's really great, right? I mean, you are actually known as the first, why do we call it that way, you know, the first female president and all that?
Well,
still, it's like a big thing, of course, but do you actually take it that way, or do you just take it as
No, I don't take it. Honestly, I don't. They're just saying first female because KSU is a very male-centric organization in Shillong.
Yeah.
So a lot of we have, even when I was there, I was a member of the Nehu unit. There was just three of us, 4 female members from the Nehu unit, and Nehu being a big university.
Co-education.
Yeah, co-education, big university, but still there were like 4 members. And other units, there were no female members at all. Very few, just a handful of us. Most units have male presidents.
Okay.
There are members, but the president's always headed by a male.
Okay.
So then in Delhi, since I initiated it, and then we had the meeting, and then we're like, if we see our plan was also to keep a male member as the president, and I'll come in as the general secretary. That was the initial plan. But then after the meeting, we're like, no, since you're in law and your work is more flexible,
right? Yeah.
So why don't you head us as the president? So that's how it started.
That's great, yeah. Being a lawyer, is it easier to fight for like causes and all that?
It's I would say it's an advantage.
Okay.
Because when we fight for causes, we have to deal with a lot of police, like law enforcement agencies. So I already deal with them from being a lawyer and day-to-day basis. Also, like I am the member of Delhi Police Northeast representative. But when I go to the police officers as a DPNAR, we call it, if I tell them that I am a DPNAR and this is what happened, they won't pay attention. They'll be like, come later. They'll give 10,000 excuse. They won't file, they won't register an FIR because they're out here, police are very adamant to register an FIR.
Okay.
But the minute I show them my advocate's ID, then their attitude changes.
God. Then there's that respect for your voice,
yeah,
right?
Because also like
and they know that you know the vocabulary of power.
Yeah,
right?
And then they're also afraid that I might report them or something. So then their attitude changes, and then they immediately respond to you, or they immediately, if they're not registering a case, then they immediately register it. So then there's an advantage.
Okay.
Honestly.
Wow. Yeah. So talking about your role as an activist, we see a lot of these stories in Instagram that you post,
Yeah.
That is what actually has led me to want to have this intimate conversation with you. Tell us more about, especially the recent, human trafficking case.
Honestly, when I joined, I was not prepared for that. Because when we created the unit, the instructions were you can help out the people from Meghalaya and Delhi, and once a year you can host a get-together.
Okay.
That's it. So that was what we were planning to do. And this was back in 2019. So our only work was once a year get-together, and if some students, they come from Shillong and they need some help with colleges and all, we can help them out with that.
Yeah.
But then back in the first case that we took up, and I was very young and very new to Delhi at that point of time.
Yeah.
And in 2019 we got this phone call from this lady. She said, I'm stuck in a railway station.
Okay.
Can you come pick me up?
That was your first call?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was a railway station in Ghaziabad.
Wow.
And I was like, I was new to Delhi. Yeah. Okay, I was also very scared. Yeah. I only knew the place that I live and my workplace.
Yeah.
That's the only Delhi I knew. And then she sounded that she really needed help. And then I called my male members. I was like, we should go help this woman.
Yeah.
Even though this place is in UP, let's just go and see what's happening. So it was around 12 a.m. in the night. So we took an Uber and we reached that place. And she was sitting there in the railway station. She was sitting alone.
Yeah.
And she saw us. She saw some familiar faces, faces from Shillong. And then she was like happy. And then we took her to Meghalaya house.
Okay.
And at first we're like, so we asked her, why are you here? How did you reach here? Then she was not answering correctly. So at first I was like, okay, it's just, we just going to send her home. And then I made some phone calls. I was like, she doesn't have money. Can I get money for tickets to send her home? And we even got the money arranged. But then we kept after a while, and after dinner, and we started talking.
I mean, you were taking care of her.
Yeah, we were
basically.
taking care of her, and then we started talking, and then maybe that trust came, and then she started opening up to us, and then that's when she revealed that she came here because her friend told her that there's a job to cook in a hostel.
Okay.
But when she came here, she was forced into prostitution.
Oh my God.
And the only way she could escape is that she didn't fight it. She told the pimp that, okay, I'm ready to to go into this line of work. When
She actually agreed.
she agreed.
Oh.
She agreed because she knew that if she fought, if she
There's
said
no way
no,
out,
there's no way
basically.
out.
Yeah.
So then when the pimp started trusting her that, okay, she's ready for this work, she told them that, I forgot my phone. I'll just go collect the phone from the place, because the brothel and the place where they're living is different.
Two different places.
Yeah, two
okay.
different houses. So she just told him that I'll just run over to the house and grab my phone and I'll come back. So he didn't, he thought that she cannot run because she's new to Delhi, she's afraid. But she ran. She ran and she ran and she ran, and then she reached this railway station, and luckily our numbers were public. It was there. We've created a Facebook page and an Instagram page, so our phone numbers were there on the Facebook page.
I mean, the presence of mind, no?
Yeah.
Actually,
so that she just she called someone, call KSU Delhi, and then that's how she got us. And then she informed us that there are 6-7 more girls inside that house. Then we told her the decision is yours, because without you we can't do anything. Whether you want, we can send you home right now. You can go home.
Yeah.
Or you want to help out the other girls, then we can go to the police and inform. Then later on, she thought about it and she said, she wants to help out, because by helping out, then she will have to register a case, and then that means her coming to Delhi for statements and everything. Then we informed the police immediately, and with Meghalaya police, the 3rd battalion that was here in Delhi, along with Delhi police, we reached the brothel, and we could rescue around 6 girls back in 2019.
Wow. And all the 6 girls were from
Shillong. Not Shillong, from Meghalaya. From different parts of Meghalaya. But the sad part is, the one bringing them here is a Khasi herself. So they trusted her, knowing that she's from our state.
Yeah. And when you told me that, the first time, I was like, what?
It's not someone from Delhi or not an outsider who fooled them. It's someone from our state. So they looked at her, they were like, okay, I know her from a friend of a friend. And if she says there's a cooking job which pays 30,000, so must be good. And then they come here and
and get them to trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was when it first happened, and I was very young, and I couldn't.
2019.
Yeah, even though I was a criminal lawyer, but I just started out my profession.
Yeah.
So we don't encounter so much of those. I haven't encountered yet those kind of cases, because I was just starting out, and to see all that happening, it's I live in a bubble. I just realized I live in a bubble, and so we need Then I understood the strong presence of how much we need KSU Delhi in Delhi, so that we can reach out to people like that.
Yeah. It's amazing, the kind of work you do, right? But in that situation where you actually, one of the stories, Instagram stories that you had, you were waiting just outside the emergency in AIMS.
Yeah.
That was the one case, right? What was going through your head? Because you were at that point, like you say, the vital bridge between the concerned person in the hospital, and then you had the member, the community back home.
Yeah.
And you also had yourself where you were, like you said, you were devastated. How can this happen to a woman? No?
Yeah.
So what was going through, and how did you communicate a lot of stuff back to the community, to home, to family, right? Back home. How did that happen?
Same case. So when the thing here is, especially with hospital like AIMS, you just want to they don't want to admit someone because there's a lot of there's no vacancy, there's no beds and all. So you just want to push the responsibility to someone else.
Okay.
So someone brought her to the hospital.
Okay.
And no one was there to take
ownership.
She's my family, or okay, I'll take care of her. So in AIMS, if you if no one is there to take responsibility over the person, either they inform to the police or then they send her back.
Okay.
So then, luckily, a nurse, she's Khasi. She saw,
God bless her, yeah.
she saw the girl and she's like, wait, she looks like someone from Meghalaya. She looks like a Khasi girl. So the nurse who's Khasi, she called us. She's like, I saw this Khasi lady in Ames, and she looks like she's not in a good condition. The first story we've heard is that she fell down a bridge. So I think you should come. So when we reached there, she was the doctors have, because of the nurse, so because she took her in and she took responsibility of her. So then the doctors started the treatment.
Okay.
So when we reached there, the doctors gave her some medication which made her fall asleep, but she kept waking up, but she kept having nightmares. So when she was having, so we were standing next to her when she was having a nightmare.
Yeah.
She was saying things in her dream. The things that she was saying, it was very clear that she did not just fall off a bridge, like the person who brought her to the hospital. We don't even know who brought her to the hospital at that point of time. And it was very clear she did not just fall off a bridge. Something has happened to her and something really bad has happened. And that's when we knew that we have to do something. We have to inform the police or something. So if we inform the police, and the police will not write a report based on your dreams,
Of course,
because she's unconscious at that point of time. So we don't know what to do, because we all have jobs, and then it was in the middle of the night. Like, we can't just leave her here. So the first thing we did is try to find her ID.
Okay.
When we found her ID and we called, so I found out the address. So the first thing I do is I called the KSU members of that address of that village.
Okay.
So I called them and asked them that we found this girl of this name. It says that this is the address. Can you verify? So our KSU members from that village verified, and they went to that house and asked them, like, do you have a daughter named so and so who is working in Delhi? And that's how we found the family members. And then the family members like, yes, she's our daughter and she's there to work in a crèche in Delhi. Then
So they thought she was
working
somewhere
else. And then I spoke to them. I was like, something has happened to your daughter,
But could you tell them on the phone?
No, I didn't tell them on the phone because
Of course.
And it was very sad because they come from a very poor family.
And you're not talking about Shillong, right?
No, this is West Khasi Hills, this particular case from West Khasi Hills. And the family said, we've never even gone out of the village, we've never even reached Shillong. How will we come to Delhi? So then I told them, you have to come to Delhi, because if we have to register a case, it's like a family member should be there.
Yeah.
And somehow they sought help from, I think, the MLA, the local MLA or some ministers. They sought some financial help from them, and they reached Delhi after 2 days. So for 2 days, we were like taking care of her, and she was unconscious. Also, when she gained her consciousness, then the following day, she was not willing to
disclose,
to speak to us, because A, she was afraid. Because she's still in Delhi, she was afraid, and she didn't know us. So she was really afraid. And then after her family came, and then we had some counseling between her family and her. It was like, you have to tell us what happened, and that's the only way we can help you. Otherwise, all our effort will go in vain.
Absolutely.
And you're very lucky to be alive right now. So that's when she revealed everything to us. Like, it's the same story. She was brought here to do some other work, and then she was forced into prostitution. And because she wanted to leave, they tried to kill her.
Yeah.
And someone found her under a bridge. So then they assumed that she fell off a bridge. And that girl now, she undergone, I think, 3 spinal injury surgeries. She can't walk anymore. She's like,
that's really, really, really sad. And the parents didn't know anything about this, right?
They didn't know. Honestly, they didn't know, and they come from a very poor background.
Yeah.
And for them, it's like it was a relief that, like
she was gone
she was
to work,
to
and she was sending money,
like good amount of money.
good amount of money. Yeah.
So it's, yeah, poverty is also one.
Is there a way to actually create awareness about this whole?
Like I've said this time and again that you can't. I cannot put this fear just because we have got these cases, but I don't want to tell people that don't study outside, don't come outside. It's a unsafe world, it's a cruel world. Be there in Shillong, be there. No, I don't want to say that because it's not fair. Like even I have come here to build a better life for myself. To and there's so many people like us who've come to Delhi to
we work hard and
to do something, to make a name or to do something of ourselves. So I don't want to say that I don't want to create that fear among people, but I would just tell them, be smart. Be smart. If someone, like, you should understand, if someone says there's a company who's going to give you a job for 30,000, what is this company? What is the name of the company? Why am I qualified? Sometimes, like, someone who just cleared their 12 or who just cleared their board 10th board exams, they get a job in a company. Like, why is this company, if it's a legit company, why is it choosing you? Like, why, or where is this company located? So I have told a lot of people that before coming here, you call us or give us the details of your jobs, and then we will verify it for you whether this company is legit or whether it's a fake company. Because a lot of time what has happened is there's a lot of people creating these fake call centers. So they do provide jobs. They call people from Northeast, mostly Northeast people. They come, they work because our English is better. So they come and they work. These are fake call centers, and when they get busted, they get arrested. And when you get arrested, you cannot take the plea, I didn't know it was a fake call center. And mind you, the one who gets arrested is mostly the employees, but the employer is always missing. So they bring here and they work in the call center. So you, because you're not that informed or educated, you're saying, okay, this is a legit job and I'm working here, I'm getting money, and there's nothing wrong because you're making phone calls to people abroad and you're asking them to pay you a certain amount of money. And you fool them like you didn't pay your credit card bill, so you have to pay this money, but it's all fake.
It's all fake, and that's the kind of scams you get on the phone, right?
Yes.
Oh my God! So they actually have people from
Northeast
also
yes.
that.
So then then as a lawyer they would call me to bail them out. It's very difficult to bail them out because you cannot take the plea of you didn't know.
You always knew.
Yeah. The sad part is these employees who really didn't know anything gets arrested, but the employer who started all this is hiding, or he's always out.
And the employer is obviously from here, or?
Yes, mostly from here. That is the message that I want to give everyone back home. You can always call us or Meghalaya House. They have a helpline.
Maybe you can say that in Khasi,
like the fee shop kung nangkran biriniki ba shop bafinya one tray sha Delhi bafinya call yangi ka KSU Delhi unit lani ka Meghalaya House kanang bangin pet lada kita ki breu ki ba ai kam ye phi kilong ki breu ki ba biang kata ka kam kalong ka ba biang ni em lani ki lani fishu sha thok kum ba chu sha thok bun ki breu te long ni don kum ka seng hi ni don hang ne banyarap ye phi na ka por.
Absolutely. It's so essential, to actually know what is at the other end, I mean, even for parents, right?
Yes. Even they will feel safer. Okay, I'm sending my children to a place.
But how do the pimps get to all these interiors? And
it's very sad, but it's mostly a woman from our state. Like, I've met 3 women from our state who are bringing these girls from Meghalaya, and they're hiding, and they're like
all underground
right now, because we were trying to find them, but they're missing right now. But I've met them.
You've met them.
I've met them.
You can't really reveal much.
I've met them because so there was a deal gone wrong or something for this particular pimp who is a Khasi from Meghalaya. So she was trying to sell one of the girls to her customer, but the customer tried to kill her. And she knew I cannot call the police. and I have to save her, but I cannot go save her alone. So then she called us. So at first I thought, she didn't tell me all that. I thought it was a genuine case, and she told me that this guy from Delhi was trying to kill this girl, and this girl's my neighbor, and she asked me for help, so please help out. I thought it was a genuine case. So I took the police, and the police, because it came from me, were like more than ready to help. Yeah. And we went, we forced, the police entered the house of that man from Delhi, and we saved her, and we brought her to the police station. Upon questioning, suddenly this lady
changed her stand.
No, she left.
Oh, she left.
She's then when the police asked me who informed you, I was like, oh, this woman. And I was looking, because there was like a lot of people, like we had 4-5 members from the KSU, and then there were like 5-6 police team. And then when we went to the police station when the actual questionings started, and when the police were asking me, how did you get the information? And when I was trying to point out to that woman, she left. And at first I didn't understand. I was like, what happened? Where is she? Where did she go? And then the police told me that this is actually a prostitution case gone wrong. That lady is the pimp, because the victim has revealed that to the police.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Real-time nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can just imagine.
So the lady, as soon as she figured that, okay, the girl is safe now, and then she left the police station. So it's...
And are you like, are you supported when you go to these, stations, like police stations and all that? Or are you on your own because you have a woman? How does it work?
Supported in the sense, as Northeast, people were lucky here in Delhi, because we have the Delhi Police Northeast unit, Northeast Police.
Okay.
So whenever anything happens, for people in Northeast, first thing before going to the police station is we call the SPUNA. It's called Special Police Unit for Northeast Region.
Okay.
So SPUNA also has a helpline, which is 1098.
Okay, 1098.
So the first thing that we do is we call SPUNA helpline.
Okay.
And we tell them
the details.
Yeah. So it happens, and then since I've worked with them for so many years, I tell them, like, send me, you come along with us, and then we will go to the police station. So if it's not a serious case, SPUNA will directly call the concerned police authority, and I directly, with the other members of the case, we directly go to the police station. But most cases, we are, SPUNA will come along with us, and then... because SPUNA have no authority to investigate or do anything, but it's just a bridge between us and the concerned police station.
Okay.
When it comes to language barrier or something, and also like the concerned police station will take the case seriously if it comes from SPUNA.
Okay. So aren't your parents, when they know about all these details about your life?
They're like, jai ho, like,
Yeah. Because they see a lot of you on the TV, right?
Yeah.
And in the news or, on social media.
Yeah, a lot of people. The thing is, when these things happen, I act out. I don't use my brain sometimes. I've put myself in like dangerous situations sometimes. In the sense that there's this lady calling us. Sometimes the police don't do a good job.
Okay.
I'll be very honest. They do not do a good job. And I've fought with them so many times.
Yeah.
There's this lady, she called us and she's like, these people are going to kill me. Come fast. Come right now, they're going to kill me. And then I called the police. I was like, I got a phone call from this lady. She said that she needs help. Come to this location. And they don't just respond immediately. Then I'll get 5 more phone calls from different police station, asking me, and I have to repeat myself 10 times. And they still do not come. And there was once where I reached the location, but my members, because we live far away from each other, all our members. And I reached that place because it's nearest to my house. And I was like, should I go? Then I was asking my member, should I go? Because she kept on asking me, I will die if you don't come right now, I will die. And then my member's like, no, don't go alone. What if something happens to you? Don't go alone. And then I kept on calling the police, please come, the police station is right there, but they're not responding, they're not coming. And then it was a situation where, what should we do? Should I go or should I don't go? And then I was like, it's okay if anything happens, let it happen. Then I just went on my own to take her out from that situation. After everything happened, then the police came.
On your own?
Yes, on my own. And then
Wow.
the other members followed shortly. But there were so many instances like that. Because
So eventually the police people came, or you just handled everything on your own?
No. At first, when we took her, same cases. So when we took, when she came into our custody, at first she lied. So we're like, okay, there's no point calling the police now. Let's just end everything here and send her home. But then we asked her. This is it's a very interesting story. So then we reached there and we're like, where are these people who are trying to kill you? Show me. Then she started speaking gibberish, and we're like. Then we had a doctor, one of our members, a doctor, and then I told her, give me your medical opinion. Is she maybe maybe
hallucinating?
Yeah, or maybe she's unwell.
Yeah.
And the doctor said maybe she's unwell. So we're like, okay, it's just a case. She's unwell, so let's do one thing. Let's just drop her home. That's the least we can do. And then we told her, show us your home. Where's your home? We'll drop you home. Then she took us to the building where she lives, and she knocked the house. After knocking the house, a man opened the door, and then they just stared at each other like very weirdly. They give like
giving
this,
signs.
weird look. And then I said, I said in Hindi, like, she lives here. Does this girl lives here? And he said, I don't know. He just quickly shut the door, and we're like, why would you do that? Like, is this your house? We're like, is this your house? Then the girl said, yes, it's my house. I live here with 3 other girls. Then I said, who's that man? And why would that man say that he doesn't know you? Why wouldn't he let you enter your own house? And then we knocked the door, we started knocking very hard, started pressing the bell, no response. Then that's when I knew that I have to call the police again, because we can't enter anyone's house, right? Trespass and all that stuff. So I said, let's bring the police. So we went down, down to the main road, and then I called the police, and then I was I started shouting at them. I said, I've called you guys for half an hour, no one's here. And then they sent a constable, someone. While we were waiting for the police, we still had to wait for 15-20 minutes. Then we told the police what happened, and then we're like, let's go up, and if you as a police officer tell them to open the door, I'm sure they would open the door, right? So when we went up again, it was the 3rd floor. The entire floor was dark. And we're like, this is weird. The entire floor was dark. The main switch is off. And then still we tried to knock. And the police was also not doing anything. It's like, no one's there, no one's opening. It's like, there were people here. And we stood outside the main gate. And no one came out of the building.
So they're here, they're inside.
They're inside. They're hiding inside. And so the police was doing it. So we were knocking. We were saying Delhi police, even though we're not Delhi police. And then say, open the door. Nobody opened it. I said, okay, call the owner. Then we called the owner. Because till that point, the girl was keeping quiet. She didn't tell us anything. And we honestly thought this girl is mentally unstable, or she has some problems or something. So that's why we didn't question her much either. And the owner was not picking up the call. And then we went to the neighbors on the 2nd floor and the 4th floor. And even the neighbors was like, we don't know. We never see them and all. And it was so funny that there was a boy. Then the girl told me, oh, I know this boy. He used to live in the building. And the boy said, I don't know her. People all around, the police asked all around that area that they all said, I don't know her. But the girl said, I know these people very well, because just yesterday I bought him some cigarettes. And the boy was like, I don't know you. So everyone was denying. And then that's when I got mad. I was like, see, you're hiding something from me. Okay, you're acting like a crazy person, but I know you're not. You're very smart. So either you tell me what's happening, or I'll leave you right here in the middle of the road. And when I started shouting at her, then she revealed to me that this entire building is a brothel. So we entered a brothel. And then everyone was there, and the 3 other Khasi girls were stuck inside. So, and then the police were also they hesitant. They didn't want to take any action on it. And then after we pushed, then we saw 3 girls coming out. And when I saw like they're from Meghalaya, and I stopped them. And they're like, "Are you from Meghalaya? Where are you coming from?" But they didn't. Like, they said, "I came from my friend's house and all." So because we had no reason to stop them, we couldn't stop them. But it was my gut feeling that they came from that house. And after those three girls left, we went back after a while. Then there was no one inside that house. So then,
wow, you actually have gone through a lot.
yeah, it was very scary for us, and because we don't know, we thought it was this girl's house, and then we would just drop her home, but then it turned out to be a brothel.
Just imagine.
And we went without police protection because we thought, like,
Just imagine.
we didn't know, we didn't know at first. Later on, the police came, but when we initially went, so we've put ourselves in those situations as well.
Wow. So what does it take not to give up on these girls, you have gone through so much. I mean, I don't know, it's incredible. I'm sure your parents are extremely worried about you.
They're very worried.
Yeah.
Like,
so how do you do it? I mean, what really, I mean, I do know you as someone who likes the quiet life.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who love your cats.
Yeah.
And then you get into that armor, to save lives. What motivates you? Because, the roles you've taken up in your life are not easy, right?
Honestly, it's like, I feel bad for most of these women, because if we don't, if the union, if we don't come out and help them, no one will.
As we can see from
No one will,
how the
because
police was responding, right? Yeah.
They cannot go to the police.
Yeah.
And the police are very hesitant to register a case in these kind of cases. Very hesitant. And this is not like as it is, Delhi is not a safe place for you. So even if they go out, where would they go?
Yeah.
They have no one.
Yeah.
So they're stuck there in that place. So we have to, because we have to be brave, and we have to go out as a union, because if we don't do it, no one will. It's like that. And then it's also, we have to be there for each other. As a community, as we are in Shillong. I think, like I said from the start, people in Shillong are very helpful and grounded and stuff. We love to help each other as a community, so that's the same thing we have.
You've translated the same.
We have to incorporate the same thing.
Yeah, the same sense of community here.
Yeah.
But I do see that you do get a lot of support from the government back home, or from
even the government here, even the
Okay.
police department here and the government, because
so not all parts of the police is that bad. That's what you're saying.
some police, it's like, it's an individual thing. It's not an organization thing. It's how that concerned IO from that police station is.
Okay.
There are some in this IO who are very helpful and very nice, and they'll go above and beyond to help you. There's some that like, case to nahi banta, madam, ghar chali jaiye, aap isko bhi ghar chale jao. They speak like that. But there's some who'll go above and beyond, and like, in example, in that case where I told you the PIM sought for help, it was a Manipuri IO, like the officer in charge of that police station was a Manipuri. So he was more than he went above and beyond. He actually came out. He didn't just send constable. He came out. He was the one who entered the house and everything. So it's like an individual thing, not an organized. I'm not blaming Delhi police as a whole, but there's some officers who are not cooperative. Most times we send these victims back home. So mostly the money comes from either the central body, the KSU Chief Executive Council, which is the main parent body.
Okay.
But sometimes also I've been like, we have a lot of these cases. So every month I can't call them and say, send me money to buy tickets for this victim, Or sometimes it happens twice or thrice a month.
Okay.
So I can't keep calling them, send me money to buy tickets. So then I seek help from the ministers back home. And every minister that I've contacted or called back home, there have been like minister
Generous.
or MLA,
Okay.
They've been generous, and they've never said no. They've always helped out. So
that's very encouraging.
Yeah, it's very encouraging.
Yeah, I've always known you as a brave one, actually. Yeah. So let's get some weight off a bit, no? What is, like, I know you as someone who loves your food. Okay.
Yeah.
What is that one food one food from Shillong that you miss?
It has to be pork intestine sausages. That too from Latlingkot.
Okay.
So the minute I land in Shillong,
Yeah.
I always the first thing I do is take my car and go to Latlingkot and buy the sausages.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't go home? You
Like
take
I
it
go
down?
home, then take the car
Okay.
from my house
Alright.
and then to Latlingkot.
Alright.
Because you don't get that in Delhi.
You don't? Not even in
Mindful, they do, but the way they clean,
Yeah.
you don't want to eat.
Yeah,
you don't want to eat
absolutely.
intestine if it's not cleaned properly.
Yeah.
So, but like in Latlingkot, you know how it's, how they cook, how they clean, and you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been having it since we're.
You were kids.
Yeah,
right?
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, talking about cleanliness, I mean, do you copy the kind of cleanliness that your mom, practices at home,
In fact, I think everyone, whenever I meet Khasis
Yeah.
in Delhi,
Yeah.
we have one major complaint. There's only one major complaint. They're not happy with when it comes to house help or anything, or maybe even in office. Like I think every Khasi that I've met who lives here in Delhi, they take that cleanliness that we practice back home and they incorporate here in Delhi as well.
So my mom was not that particular. It'd be where she was clean, but not the kind of obsessive clean that a lot of Khasis are, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes do you think that, that could also be unhealthy? I mean, like your personal...
I am like that, so I don't know. I can't say that. It's unhealthy.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of your time also, right?
It takes a lot of my time, and sometimes my flatmates are...
And your sanity, of course.
Yes.
Because you get like diny, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am diny. I am 100% diny when it comes to that. And I think all my flatmates can... Whoever has lived with me, they can be like, oh, Marbiang is very diny.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why... And I actually, I have signs written all over the house. Like, please wash the dishes immediately after you use them. Like, or please clean the kitchen. And like, I have these signs all over the house because it bothers me if I see something is out of place.
Because you're used to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And does that affect your personal relationship? Like, being too hygienic, being too clean, being particular?
I would say it does, but then if for someone who is planning to be my flatmate or something, before moving in,
You would do an interview.
I want them to see I am like this and I want this.
Yeah.
And so are you okay with it? Only if you're okay with it, then say yes, otherwise don't.
So I hope no notices going to your flatmates right now, like,
Yeah.
You're happy with them, right?
Yeah.
So, wow. So where do you have the time to be that clean, Marbiang? Like, there's so much going on.
We have help. We have help. We have, in fact...
But you have to go around that help, no?
So what we've done is, what my flatmate and I have done is, we've kept one help that is from here, which is like, she comes every day.
Okay.
But then we also have help from Shillong.
Oh.
So trust me, we're like very at peace and very happy when...
Like a permanent person or...
Not permanent.
Just
But
part-time.
then, part-time from Shillong. So
and she has a place to go to and stay and
it's
live.
it's a he. So he works somewhere else, but on his off days he comes to our house, and then the way he cleans is like how Shillong people clean. And we're very...
Even the Khasi men, I know that.
Yeah.
They do help in the house, So
Khasi men are also very clean.
Yeah.
They're very particular.
Yeah. So that is actually such a big thing in your life, no? Like
Having
a positive thing,
Yes.
because you are particular about, like all the Khasis are, which is great. And I'm talking nonsense right now. Sorry. So let's talk about, the matrilineal word, I'm going to tell you, has become the most trendy because of the whole tourism burst and all that, right? I feel like if we have 2 million Khasis or 2 million people from Meghalaya practicing this system or are in this system, there are 2 million definitions, right? How can you loosely define matrilineal system according to your experience? Like because it's just so much happening. Like, what is it now? Like, has it got diluted?
in the sense, I've always believed that our society, we have rules for men and women.
Yeah.
For example, yes, the woman, she gets the surname and the ancestral property, but not anymore, but like the ancestral property, not the private property or something, the ancestral property, and she has a say of what goes around the household. But men have roles outside the house.
Yeah.
For example, the doorbar, they head the doorbar.
Yeah. It's exclusively for men.
For
right?
men,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Or church, most of the pastors, or even as Khasi or Nyamtre, like the one like Nongkanyas and all, they're all men.
Yeah.
So the role in our society is very balanced.
Yeah.
And because it's balanced, I don't think men look down to us, or nor do we look down upon them.
Yeah.
And it's like very balanced and equal. That is something that I do not see here, or in any part of India.
So that is your personal experience.
My personal experience, yeah. Because
don't you have like these male friends who come to you and say, you know, I mean, a lot of boys do think that they are actually, they compare themselves to dogs because they listen to them at home, then they go to the in-laws' house, they have to listen to the in-laws.
But then why, the question is, why are these in-laws or moms, why are they like lecturing you? You're doing something wrong. Why is he lecturing you?
They actually say that, you know, so no, like, you know,
No, there are, see, right, this how the society is right now. No one, our society, I think since I was young, I've never seen anyone living in a joint family.
Okay.
No one lives in a joint
you're
family.
a new Khasi person,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I think even though nobody lives in a joint society, so we live
nuclear.
Yeah, it's nuclear. It's only the last daughter, because she has to take care of her parents. So she lives there, and eventually she inherits. If the family have only one property, but if it's a rich family with multiple properties, the assets gets divided. Like every child gets equal share. That's the practice that majority of the people are following now. So for someone to say that,
I think again it's a personal experience.
Yes.
Like if you have 2 million people in this system, there are 2 million experiences, right?
The only thing I could see is like a man. Say he married the last daughter and he lives with her in-laws. And maybe the marriage didn't work out. So he has to leave the house, and then he comes back to his mother's house. Now his sister with her husband is living there, and he doesn't feel welcome. So he's like, where do I go? So that is the only complaint that I've heard, or the only issue that I've heard from men, like but apart from that,
it's like what the women in a patriarchal society.
So it's the same thing. So if it's a patriarchal society, that difficulty will be faced by women. They can't go back to their house because their brother and his wife is living there. So I think our society is becoming a nuclear. We're very independent that way. We don't have, like, people here are really dependent on, they have to be a joint family. The first son is always the head of the family. Whatever he says, it goes. We also have something similar in terms of kini. Like,
I know.
Like the last daughter, the practice was the last daughter, she inherits the ancestral property, but she can't do anything to the property without the permission of the kini. But these days, even that
has got diluted.
It's diluted because the kini is now the father's the head of the family. Like my household, my father's the head of the family.
No, but you're talking about your family, right?
Yeah, but most families in Shillong, I cannot speak for the villages or the outskirts. I don't know, but in Shillong, I think that's the practice.
Are you sure? I mean, a lot of men are going to say, oh no, that's not the case.
Because,
I don't think so.
See, I'll tell you, the men, is only when they're, I can give you 2 examples. Both of them are my friends. So both married the last daughter. Okay. So one friend, he's doing very well in his life. Very responsible, has a good job, very responsible man. He takes care of his own mother, takes care of his wife, and also his wife and his children. So his in-laws really respect him. Like, the minute he comes, are like, oh, Prasa Lawan, bring him food, bring him this. They really respect him. And whenever we visit, it's not his house, it is his wife's house. Even though we're his friends, we get the same respect and all this stuff. And we can see like he's treated very well in that family. I have another friend, okay? He has a job, but then he blows up his money drinking. Okay, usually Shang, but doesn't take responsibility at home. Even his mom would complain to us that Nitiba Shu Shang like not responsible at all. So the wife is frustrated that I am handling the child alone. We have kids together, and you're not growing up. You're not taking care of the family. You're not taking care of
lost cause,
the child. So then the wife is fed up, and she doesn't respect him so much. And because the wife doesn't respect him so much, then even the family members doesn't respect him so much.
But you know what, Marbiang, even in a patriarchal society, we do have that. And I think men have that protective layer in a patriarchal society, which they don't have it. I'm not taking the side of the men, but I'm just saying it's challenging for the women also. But I'm just saying, I think in a patriarchal system, the men have that protective layer of being the man of the house, of doing whatever they want, but the women are not going to go and share it with them, whatever, with their moms. I don't know. I mean, let's leave this open-ended, right? I mean, because like I said, we're all going to be having our personal experiences, our personal definitions. So, you don't think so that leaning on the maternal system, we have it easy, like the women?
Yes, the women have it easy, and I feel it's because of the maternal system. I think it's safer for the women.
Okay.
We're more respected, and we are on an equal footing with men.
Okay.
Equal is the word that I would like to highlight, because I have a friend here, she's doing very well. She's a very smart Supreme Court lawyer, and she's doing very well. But so this arranged marriages here, as we all know, because they marry in the caste. So she had an arranged marriage, and her fiance expects her to leave. So the way we work is we have court till 4 p.m. After 4 p.m. we go to the chamber and we prep for tomorrow's cases.
Okay.
So we usually work till 10 p.m. So my friend, her fiance, expects her to come home after court and cook and clean for his family. And then she said, okay, I'll pay for the maid. Let me work and I'll pay for the maid. I will bear the expenses. Her fiance is like, no outsider will come in our house and cook for the family. It's you who have to do it. So how do you expect this woman, and she's doing very well, very smart, to leave everything and come and cook for them? But that's not in our society. I think if women are the men will be like, oh, we have 3 meat, it's okay, I'll cook.
The men.
It's okay, I will take care of it, you go, you come. So
exactly.
That support, which you don't get in the community.
Exactly. It is these women again who go for a holiday, in Shillong or in Meghalaya. And they use their 4-night, 3-day lens and say, hey, you know what? The girls, are the queens. They rule, So it's just a very, very vague thing to say, right?
I agree
because the
with that.
women back home also do quite a lot. The men are very supportive, of course. Men are very supportive.
They are supportive, but also because the children takes the mother's surname and they live at the mother's house mostly, so men feel like they don't have responsibility towards their children. So a lot of broken marriages, if you see in Meghalaya, here, if it's a broken marriage, the man has to pay maintenance, he has to pay child support.
And as a lawyer, you have come across.
Yes, we have a lot of those cases where the woman will drag you to court, even if you have no money. They're like, no, pay alimony. So they if you get a divorce here, a man will lose a lot of his money.
Okay.
But in Meghalaya, a lot of my friends have broken marriages. And then as a lawyer, I tell them, why don't you file for maintenance? They're like, I will handle it. We don't want.
I will handle it. I know.
We're strong enough. I'll handle it. So they work and they support alone. They support 3-4 children alone. They don't depend on a man So
is it a vicious cycle then? Like,
yeah. Could be. Yeah. Because they don't feel they're responsible.
Yeah.
Not every man is like that. I mean,
Of course, not
there
every
are
man's
some
like that.
there are some marriages don't work out,
Yeah.
but there are some who are very responsible. They do take care of their
Yeah.
children even
Yeah.
after the marriage didn't work out, and you don't even have to go to court for that.
Yeah.
They feel like it's their responsibility as a father, and you do take care of the children. But the one who leaves
Yeah.
and who don't take care, like women don't take them to court. Hardly.
Hardly, yeah.
Like there are cases, of course, but like the majority, they'll be like, no, it's okay. We will. In fact, I know a lot
even
of
if they had a court marriage.
yeah.
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 Yeah. And that's why I find it really ridiculous when people go to Meghalaya, have a holiday, and they put the women on the big fun side of this arrangement, and then they kick the men around and name them losers. I think that is also not fair.
No, men, Khasi men are not losers. Like this is a very, like I said in the start, the roles that we have that in the society is very balanced, with female taking care of the household aspects of the house and male outside. Like we have not interfered with the Dorbar and all. Even though some localities now are allowing women to take part in Dorbars, they're allowing them. Like,
Which localities would you know? Like
I've heard I'm not really sure. So, but then I've heard this in the district council, going around the district council. But then we're more than happy. I've never heard any woman is saying Kwashong Dorbar and all. We're like more than happy because
also knows.
it's okay. You take care of the Dorbar. Take care home. Yeah. So it's very balanced.
Yeah.
Like even church or the religious aspect.
Yeah, the Sunday offices. Yeah.
Like any religion, like the Khasi religion, men are taking care of it. So it's very balanced that way.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the the idea of that people here have is like they are ghar jamai. Like that term, that they are ghar jamai, they live with the
and it's far from that truth.
First of all, not everyone live in the girl's house. Mostly if you're the first daughter or the second daughter, if you're not the last daughter, you live separately.
Exactly.
As a nuclear family.
Yeah.
It's only the last daughter.
Yeah.
Because she has to take care of the parents. So it's
and
just
you have the same these unspoken norms of a patriarchal system where the Pangsh, Tom Ki Khun and all that in school, the first number would be the mom's number only, They would assume that the mother, even if she's working, she has not the kind of role that a father would have.
Yeah.
Kadayam?
Yeah.
This is the one question that I want to ask. What would you say, what is your advice for all those girls there who probably are doing sciences or doing chemistry and they see you here and they're like, I just don't want to do this, I want to be Marbiang. I want to change the world.
I don't think anyone should be like
Why?
I don't want to take that. I feel like you do whatever you're passionate about.
No, but you know what? They actually see you and they get introduced to that concept of being an activist, to that idea of being an activist. And they
I think activism can come in many forms.
Okay.
You can be an activist at your own work. I don't call myself an activist.
You don't?
No, I don't.
But you are an activist by definition when you're going around.
No, but I don't think I'm an activist because I don't raise a voice or...
You don't advertise?
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Particular topic is just like, I help people from my state who needs me. We're trying to prevent these things from happening to our people, and then we're lending them a helping hand. So I don't go and advertise about it or something like that,
But some kind of an advice, something to say, to all those girls and boys who would want to come, to a big city like this.
Yeah.
And just looking at the news would be like, oh no, not really. But looking at you, see, you made it. You've been here, what? You said 9 years?
Yes,
7 years?
7 years.
7 years, but look at you,
It's, in fact, there's so many, just in Delhi, I know a lot of Khasi people who are doing very well. And they've really made it. And honestly, it's also privilege. Like most of the people I know who are doing very well and all, they have a backing or a support from the family. Like my family supported me for 2 years because litigation is a very difficult profession.
Yeah.
Like even where you live, you cannot earn much. And then to come to a different state to do litigation, it's like not easy. You will not be able to pay your rent.
Exactly. And that's why I'm asking you, what does it take to be so brave?
So that's the thing. You have to, you have to be sure.
Okay.
Like, because a lot of students I've seen over the years where they spend their parents' money and they come here and say, I'll prepare for UPSC. But they're not preparing. They reach here and
enjoy.
They enjoy their life 24/7. So first you ask yourself, whatever it is you're planning to come here to do, whether you really want to do it, whether you really sure that this is what I want. And then if it is, then you come here and you put a lot of dedication, effort, and there'll always be people around you who will help you out. Even though Delhi is a big city, but I think with KSU and with the church, KGCF, we've formed a community now. Also, the Saint Khasi are coming up in Delhi. This is Saint Khasi Delhi unit. Saint Khasi, Saint Rai Delhi unit. So all these, the religious community and also KSU have together, all these three organizations, we always work together. And we formed a big community here. And it's a big community that supports each other. So there are instances sometimes where somebody doesn't have a house to live or something, and we've given them place to live in a house. Sometimes the RC has been kind enough to give Meghalaya house for them to live for a while. So, we have a group here as well. It's called the Shillong United. So if nobody has a job, and then we advertise, I need a job for this, which in this sector, and then if there's any job availability, we do advertise there. So we help each other out.
So you don't have a job, like they don't have a job and they land here, or they lost their job?
They lost their job.
Exactly.
So if you want to come here to study or for a job, something, you ask yourself whether you're really going to do it, because Delhi can
make or break you.
Yes, it can make or break you. Yes, that's the word. Because there's a lot of people who will call it for enjoyment, and because this is, when you come here, you're like, you have the freedom that you do not have in Shillong.
Exactly.
And
and you better, with that freedom comes responsibility.
How do you use that freedom?
And also we come to that point where you said that, parents should be reminded to check the details before they send their kids to Delhi.
They should verify and check the details, whether it's colleges or whether you come here to study, to work, and also where are they going to live, with whom are they going to live. All that is very important to verify. Otherwise, like I said, we do have a community here that supports each other. And everyone, it's not just KSU, like we have the KGCF, we also have the Saint Khasi and the Saint Khasi organization. So these three organizations in Delhi have formed a very big community where, we're always ready and willing to help out our people. So
it's great to know.
So it's not that scary, like we show in the news, like that is shown in the news. Yes, it is not safe, because even personally, I have encountered some experiences that I have felt that my safety could have, something could have happened to me. But at the same time, because of that, you cannot be afraid to come out.
You cannot generalize, basically, right?
You cannot be afraid to come out. If you need to come out, that is.
And if you don't need to come out,
if you can make a name for yourself, if your purpose or what you want to do in life is you being in Shillong or being in Meghalaya and doing it, that's the best thing that can happen to you. Because I would trade. It's just that there's only one Supreme Court, and I want to work at Supreme Court. That's why I'm here. If there was a Supreme Court in Shillong, I would choose the Supreme Court in Shillong, because nothing can. Clean air, fresh food, good people, safety.
No, but there are good people here also, I'm sure.
Yes. But safety, So I would not trade that for anything. But it's just that I chose my career first, and that's why I'm here.
I think when you talk about good air, I do agree.
Yes,
especially the winter in Shillong is a must, and even the sun. The sun is the same, but the way the sun shines in Shillong, oh man, it's great, right?
And I do feel a difference in my skin and my hair and everything after when I was living in Shillong and after I came here. So but
But you still look
it is what it is.
You know what? In spite of that, living in Delhi for 7 years, you look fabulous. Yeah,
No,
and
I don't think so.
yeah. And thank you so much, Marbiang. Thanks a lot. Is this your first podcast?
It is my first
It's
podcast.
mine too, and I had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun too. I think it's a really nice setup, and
Thank you.
I'm when I mentioned earlier, I see a lot of Khasi people doing
Yeah.
a lot of good things in Delhi, and
yeah.
you're one of them.
Oh.
So I'm really glad that you're doing this, and you're putting setting up a stage for people from the Northeast to voice
Thank
their
you so
opinions.
much.